Welcome, Team No Limit and Team Achieve the Dream, to our team call. This is a special call. We normally didn't have a call scheduled for today, but since we have a special guest who is willing to share with us about finances, she is our very own BFF, and literally, we wouldn't know her if it wasn't because of Scentsy. She is no longer with Scentsy. She is doing something moved on with her journey. But thank God for Scentsy, because Jessica or myself would not have met her. And she is like literally so much fun and full of energy and is so on point with finances. So when we thought about this call, she was the first person we thought about, of course. And we asked her, and she was all for it to take her time to share with us. So let's make sure y'all have a pen and paper, jot some notes down, and give her full attention, because I know she's going to rock this call. Go on, Miss Anna Lassard.
Woo-hoo! All right. Well, real quickly, before I tell you guys about me, we are going to go ahead. If I can get my screen to move. There we go. Here is going to be what we are going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about some facts about money. We're going to get personal with money. We're going to talk about a simple budget, a plan to become debt-free, kids and money, and your business. Also, we're going to have 2 giveaways, and there's going to be a special announcement towards the end of the training tonight. All right, so thank you, Jessica and Lucy, for inviting me to share tonight. I'm excited to share with all of y'all about me. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Anna Lassard. I've been friends with Lucy and Jessica since I think about 2011. I am a mom of 2. I have been in the mortgage industry for over 20 years, and I have a serious passion for finance and helping others get out of debt and living the life they deserve. I love to travel and spend time with my family and friends. My husband and I have been debt-free for the second time since March 2015. Yes, we had to get out of debt twice. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about your money and life. My wisdom comes from teachings of Dave Ramsey and his team. I hope each of you have your pens and paper ready, as I'm going to be covering a lot, and I talk fast. All right, so for our first topic, here are some facts about money that you will find interesting. The 3 that stick out most to me are the first 3. Number 1, cause of divorce is money problems and money fights. 9 out of 10 millionaires are first generation rich, which means they started with nothing and changed their life. And then third, as 70% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. And by the way, guys, I forgot to tell you that I will be giving Jessica and Lucy a copy of this presentation, so you don't have to hurriedly trying to jot down anything that's on the slides, because you'll have it all readily at your fingertips. All right, let's get personal. Personal finance is 80% behavior and only 20% head knowledge. To change your current monthly situation, you have to change. You have to change your life. When you change your life, you will get out of debt, give, and invest at an unbelievable rate. You can be skinny and rich if you just control the person you look at every day in the mirror. If you were to lose your job today, would your family be able to pay the bills this month? This is a question that most Americans can answer no to. Why? Because we live paycheck to paycheck. Does the money come in each month and go out even faster than it came in? If you are willing to make sacrifices now in your life that most people are not, then you will be able to live your life as most people will not. If you live like no one else, later you can live like no one else. How many of us are still paying on a dinner we charged over a year ago on a credit card? Do you want to pass on a legacy of debt to your children? We know as parents that our children are watching every move we make. For me, when my daughter said just charge it one time, it was a huge eye-opener for me. Do you want to spend your retirement in debt and living paycheck to paycheck? Or spend it doing whatever you want because you were wise and made smart decisions early in life? I know for me, I want my children to learn from my past and not think debt is the answer. We all think that you go to college, get student loans, get a job, then get married, charge the wedding and the honeymoon, then go out and get a mortgage for a new home. Oh, and wait, you can't forget about the new furniture for the home and the new car you have to get, since after all, we work hard and we deserve it. I don't know about you, but driving around a $500 car payment is crazy. Have you ever thought about what your car payment can grow into? Well, I have, and let me tell you, it's pretty scary. In just 10 years, you pay about $100,000 in car payments. At 20 years, it's $470,000. At 30 years, it would be $1.5 million paid in car payments. And at 40 years, that $500 car payment would equal over $5.5 million. Do you think you could retire on that? Yeah, I bet you can. All right. So now we are going to talk about simple budget. The first thing you have to do is do a budget every single month. The author John Maxwell said, a budget is people telling their money where to go instead of wondering where it went. A written budget for the month is your money goal. You wouldn't hop into your car and go on a road trip without a map of where you were going. Same goes for your money every month. You want to have a budget for not only your personal money, but for your business too. This is something that we do each and every month. Zig Ziglar said, if you aim at nothing, you will hit it every time. You want to make sure that you give every dollar of your income a name every month before the month begins. By doing this, you will know exactly where all of your money will be going, and you will be prepared. This will be a different way of thinking, and it will take a few months for you to get used to this, but it'll soon become a habit. Brian Tracy, author of Eat That Frog, said that a study of Harvard graduates found that after 2 years, the 3% who had written goals achieved more financially than the other 97% combined. All right. I am sure many of you that are listening live into this recorded training have an iPhone or an Android phone. And if you don't have either one of those, have no fear because you can still do this on your computer. So I had promised many of you that I was going to share with you how to create a budget in less than 10 minutes. And this is how you're going to do it. This is a free app that walks you step by step how to do it. And here is some reasons why you would want to have this app. Number one, it's free. Number two, it is super easy when it comes to doing your budget. You don't have to worry about doing anything on pen or paper or complicated spreadsheets. They have visuals for you. It shows you like what you have planned, what you've spent, and what's remaining in your budget. You can do it anywhere because, of course, you're doing it on your phone. And you can access it from your computer or your iPhone or Android. One of the things that I like about this app is both me and my husband, we share the same sign-on. We just created one sign-on, and we both have the app. And so he can log on to it and update the budget, and I can log on to it and update the budget, and it syncs with each other. But here is a little quick video that has some information about the budget. About the app, I should say, not the budget. Sorry.
Hi, for Rachel and me.
She's talking.
Hi, thank you for taking the call. I am just starting out. I'm 26 and I'm a teacher. And I'm just starting out. I have some credit card debt. Of course, I have my student loans that I'm paying. And I'm trying to figure out the best way to budget my money.
How much of each do you have? How much credit card debt and how much student loan debt?
Student loan debt is about $40,000. And my credit card debt is about $3,000.
Good. And what's your income?
It's about $38,000.
And you're single?
Yes.
Okay. Rachel?
Yeah, well, anytime you're making an income of any amount, Amy, you need to be budgeting. So whether you have debt or not, a budget has to be a part of your life. And so I've learned that this tool really does. It gives me freedom. It's not constrictive. For a long time, I always pictured a budget as like, oh, it means I can't go shopping or I can't go on vacation. I can't do these things. But no, you can do these things and be on a budget. You're just being intentional with where your money's going. And so doing a written plan is going to be so, so key. And so your debt payments will be in that, at what you pay every month on your debt, plus everything else. So your rent or your mortgage, your food, cell phone insurance, anything you pay in the month is going to go on this budget. So we teach the zero-based budget. So that means your income of the next coming month minus your expenses equals zero. So every dollar you have coming in has a name, and you're being intentional with every single dollar. And then you can look at that budget and say, okay, I want to get rid of this credit card debt. And so you can cut things in your budget and actually put numbers to it and say, okay, I can get out of debt in X amount of time. And so we have a tool called Every Dollar, which is amazing. It's an app that I use. So easy. It's free. So go download that, because that's really going to help you start out. Never budgeted before like you, or if people out there have been budgeting, this is the best place to start. It really takes kind of a complicated subject and breaks it down into an easy, doable plan.
You can get Every Dollar as an app on the App Store for your iPhone. It's free. You can just download and use it as an online budgeting tool at everydollar.com. Either way, sign up, desktop, however you want to use it, whichever way you want to do it. It's completely free that way. And it does. When you write it down and you give every dollar a name, it makes you feel like you got a raise. That's what you meant by freedom.
Well, sure, and you're in control, because for so much time, if you live without a budget, you just feel completely out of control. You have no clue where your money's going, and I think that produces a lot of guilt, shame, intimidation to even start the budget. So it can't be an intimidating process to begin, but once you dig into it, it's amazing the freedom that comes with it. Hey, you guys, Rachel Cruz here.
All right. Get back to our spreadsheet. So that video was just a quick overview of the app. And again, it's super, super easy to set up and to get started. And again, it's free. All right. Now we're going to work on our plan to become debt free. All right. So step number 1 to becoming debt free is to start with a $1,000 emergency fund. Emergency fund is for those unexpected events in life that you can't plan for. The loss of a job, an unexpected pregnancy, a faulty car transmission, and list goes on and on. It's not a matter of if these events will happen. It's just a simple matter of when they will happen. Your next step is to pay off all of your debts except your mortgage using the debt snowball. You're going to want to list your debts in order from smallest balance to largest balance. So your one with the smallest balance is going to be your number 1 priority. Don't worry about the interest rates unless you have 2 debts with similar payoffs. If that's the case, then list the highest interest rate one first. The point of the debt snowball is simply this. You need some quick wins in order to stay pumped up about getting out of debt. Paying off debt is not always about the math. It's about motivation. When you start knocking off the easier debts, you will see results and you will stay motivated to dump your debt. I want to give you some of our personal money tips that have helped us. Number 1, bring your lunch to work. Number 2, carry cash. Number 3, sleep on it before you make a purchase. People go broke on once shopping. Shop at resale shops and thrift stores. You can save a lot of money by buying gently used. Make a monthly food menu. I've been doing this for years, since my kids were little, and it has really helped whenever, you know, it comes time to go to the grocery store, because I only buy the stuff that's on that list for the month. And also, too, the other thing that's cool is that everybody knows what's for dinner that night. And they're not asking me, like, what are we having? What are we having? I just say, go look at the menu. And it's something simple that I do. I just buy the little blank calendar at the dollar store, and then I just write on it and hang it up on the refrigerator. Here's another tip. Don't ever go into a store without a list. This will help keep you focused and not make extra purchases. This next one, I'm sure many of you get so many emails like I do whenever some store has a sale or they want to tell you about a new product that came out, and the next thing you know, you're on their website and you've been on their website for 20 minutes and you're finding all these extra things that you never even went there to go get. So one of the things that I've done is I've set up a retail folder for all of those promotional emails that I get. And I have a Yahoo account, but Yahoo will allow you to set up rules. So I have set up a rule to where anything from, let's say, Kohl's, JCPenney's, whoever, you know, everybody that I get sells stuff from, but it automatically goes directly into that retail email folder, so it never touches my inbox. So whenever I want to go shopping and maybe I'm looking to see if Kohl's has something on sale or JCPenney's has something on sale or Michael's or whoever it is, then I'll go to that retail folder and I'll look and I'll say, oh yeah, here's a coupon code for, you know, XYZ company. But that helps me to not be tempted to buy stuff just because it's on sale and just because I got an email. Now I want you to all close your eyes for a moment and imagine that you are now debt-free, except for your home, and you have $1,000 in the bank. You should be smiling because you don't have to worry about anything. All right, you can open your eyes back up. All right, step number 3. All right, 3 to 6 months of expenses and savings. So once you've completed the first 2 baby steps, you will have built some serious momentum, but don't start throwing all your extra money into your investments quite yet. You want to make sure you now have a fully funded emergency fund. Baby step number 4 is invest 15% of your household income into Roth IRAs and pre-tax retirement. When you reach this step, you'll have no payments except the house, a fully funded emergency fund. So now it's time to get serious about building wealth. Can you imagine how quickly you can build wealth without no debt? Super fast. All right, step number 5 is going to be college funding for children. By this point, you should have already started baby step number 4, investing 15% of your income before saving for college. Whether you're saving for you or your child to go to college, you need to start. Baby step number 6 is pay off your home early. Now it's time to begin chunking all of that extra money towards your mortgage. You're getting closer to realizing the dream of a life with no house payments. Can you imagine going to any restaurant that you want and being able to read the menu from left to right because money is no object? I've yet to got to that point yet because there's a lot of restaurants that are expensive. All right, step number 7, and the final step is build wealth and give. It's time to build wealth and give like never before. Leave an inheritance for future generations and bless others now with your excess. It's really the only way to live. Giving is the most fun you will ever have with money. Margaret Thatcher said, "No one would remember the Good Samaritan if he only had good intentions." He had money as well. Money gives power to good intentions. All right, now on to those wonderful children, kids and money. For those of you who have kids, I ask you, what do your kids know about money? Do they know how to save, spend, and give? It is our job as parents to make sure that our children do not make the same mistakes that we have with money. All of these things that I'm going to share with you can be applied to us adults as well. Children think that they need everything, but we know that our children are blessed way beyond so many children in this world. We have to be sure that they know the difference between wants and needs. Budgets. Did you know that you can start at an early age with having your child on a budget? Both of our kids have learned that if there is something that is going to be like a big purchase in our home, that we're going to have a budget for it, and we're going to set aside money each and every month for that item. They also know that if there's something that they are wanting, that they need to earn part of the money to pay for it, that we're not going to be buying it for them. Age 16 comes faster than you may think. Be sure that you're planting the seeds now with your children to save their money. We did the car match program with our daughter Ariel, and currently are doing the same with our son Reese, which is whatever you save for a car, we will match. Ariel's first car was a 1997 Dodge Neon with a very bad paint job and serious hail damage. But it only cost her $500, and we matched it for a total of $1,000. Reese will be getting my husband's old car, which is a 2011 Chevy Cruze, which he will buy for $2,500, and we will be matching his savings for a total of $5,000. You can see from this example how your kids are watching. As Ariel got a $1,000 car, and Reese is getting a much nicer car, as he watched his sister save, and he started earlier so he could have a nicer car. College and weddings. These are both two things that I must say that I was not prepared for because of the debt load that we had. But when our daughter Ariel was ready for college, she attended community college before she went on to a university. The cost for community college is way less than attending at a university, and we just cash flowed her tuition each month for college. Ariel got married in 2015, and because of our financial teachings, she was able to pay cash for her wedding. For those of you that are on this call and you have a high school child or a child in college, I want you to be sure and write this down. You want to go get the Scholly app. It's spelled SCHOLLY. It is an app that helps students to find scholarships. Christopher Gray, who created Scholly, won $1.3 million in scholarships for college. So if you are looking, for a way to pay for your child to go to college, getting scholarships needs to become your child's full-time job. There's a ton of money that's out there waiting. They just actually have to go and get it. Business tips. Now, we all know that if you are not doing good in your personal finances, that your business finances will be a mess. I'm going to share some tips that will help you in your business. All right, number one, create a budget for your business just like you do for personal. Doing a budget for your business will make the obvious become a reality and force you to prepare and think of options. What are some business expenses you have in your Scentsy business? One I think of would be Scentsy Family Reunion. That is a huge expense that a lot of people aren't able to go to because, why? They don't have the money. If you are a leader, you have leadership retreat. Again, that is an expense that if you don't have the money, you end up and you're not able to attend. Both of these trips happen every single year. And if you don't have a plan, you won't be able to attend. If you set aside money every month for these events, you will never miss another event again. What about new catalogs or testers when it's transition time? You can set aside money every month for this expense, so you'll have enough saved whenever time comes for a transition. So I don't know the numbers, Jess or Lucy, but I'm just going to use this for example. You know, if you're going to spend, let's say $100 during each transition time to get your new testers and to get your new catalogs, then you would just divide that number out by 12, and that would be how much you would want to set aside every single month in your business budget. So that way you will always have that money to be able to get those new catalogs and testers when that time comes. And then you do the same thing for any business expenses that you may have. For example, you know, if you know you're going to need to get business cards or brochures, whatever it is that you need. And if there's any expenses that you're unsure of, you can get with Lucy or Jessica if you're new to the business, and they'll be able to help you in knowing those expenses that you want to be budgeting for each month. Next one, pay cash. You're working hard in your personal budget to get out of debt. You want to be doing the same thing for your business. So paying cash will help you to stay focused and to not get in more trouble with having more debt. Buy used or borrow. What's great about Scentsy Business is that a lot of your business tools you can borrow from your leader or you can borrow from your fellow team members. You don't have to buy every business tool that is available. Your leader and team members would love to be able to help you. All you need to do is ask. Have an emergency fund for your business. With y'all's business, you don't have to have a lot of overhead. You don't have a huge amount of expenses like a normal business would. Let's say, for example, you know, if someone had a doctor's office, so they would have a lot more funds that they would need to set aside. But you may have something that may come up. So you do want to have a little bit of money that is set aside for your business so that you don't have to worry about when something happens. Be generous with your products, services, and profits. In the book, The Little Red Book of Wisdom, Arthur Mark DeMoss tells a story about John D. Rockefeller, who died in 1937. In his lifetime, he gave away today's equivalent of $5 billion. So in 1937, this man was giving away today's worth of $5 billion. It's crazy. Being generous is the hallmark of people who live successful lives and operate business with soul. Some of the greatest joys of becoming successful are associated with acts of generosity to your team, your customers, and your community. So in summary for your business, you want to have a budget, you want to stay out of debt, don't buy what is not needed to make a profit, save your cash, and always be generous. Having a plan lets you have security in both your personal life and your business. All right, you may be asking yourself, why would I want to get out of debt? Better question is, why not? Can you imagine how different your life and the others around you would be if you didn't have debt? I know what it feels like to not have any debt, and it is a great feeling. And I want that for, you know, as many people that I can help to achieve that. Also too, for me, like, I want to know that when I get old that my kids aren't going to have to take care of me, that they're, you know, going to know that, you know, we have done right with our money and they're not going to have to pay my bills every month. You can live the life you've always dreamed without creating the debt, stress, and worry that are all too often part of the deal. The definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Do you know where you are and where you're going and how exactly you are going to get there financially? If not, then it's time to get started today. You may be saying, I really need to take the steps to get my finances in line. If this is you, then what I'm fixing to show on the next slide is the special announcements that I was talking about at the beginning of the call. I am going to be starting Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace class. For those of you that are interested in it, it's a 9-week class, and it's all online, and you can attend and watch 24/7. The average family attending pays off $5,300 in debt and saves $2,700 within the first 90 days. You will learn about saving, budgeting, dumping debt, how important insurance is in your life and what insurance you need, retirement and college planning, real estate and mortgages, and giving back during the 9 weeks. And anyone that registers from Lucy and Jessica's team, they're going to go into a drawing. I'm going to do a free giveaway for registration for anyone that enters. Nelson Mandela said, there is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that is less than the one that you're capable of living. I would love to help each of you begin your debt-free journey and to change your family tree, take back your freedom, and have the choice to decide where your money goes every month instead of having to send it to your creditors. All right, so now, okay, so I had said we were going to do 2 giveaways for everyone that listens to this training, either live or recorded. If you share what you learned by Monday, June the 5th at 9 p.m., all those names will just be put into a drawing randomly, and I have 2 giveaways for you guys. Now, I do have, for those of you that are on, you may have some questions, but we do have some questions that were posted on Facebook. So I'm going to go over those real quick first, and then anybody that's on live, you can ask your questions as well. All right, so first question is from Carrie Bowens. And she said, should you have an emergency fund for different things like car, home, family, or just one and grow the amount? With your emergency fund, you want to do it to where you start off with $1,000 until you get out of debt. And then once you are out of debt, you would do the 3 to 6 month emergency fund. I just realized I'm talking with my hand. But you would do the 3 to 6 month emergency fund. Now from that fund, you would then pay for anything that would be an emergency. So let's say, for example, if your car had a blowout, that would be an emergency. So you would go take it from the emergency fund and take care of that blowout. Same thing goes, let's say if your home had a flood, pipe broke, and it flooded your house, and it cost $1,000, for you to pay your insurance deductible, you'd pay $1,000 from that money. But then you would work to get that back up to the 3 to 6 months. One of the things that we do is we set aside money each month for different repairs for like our vehicles, for our home. We say, all right, we want to set aside $100 a month for your oil changes, your new tires, your car washes, those type of things that that you're going to have to get on your vehicles, and it just sits in our savings account. And then when it comes time to go get new tires, we have the $500 saved up because we've been putting some aside throughout the whole entire year. All right, next question is from Lucy. She said, how much do we take out of our checks to save? Does it depend on what you make or how many kids you have? All right, so in regards to saving, that all goes down to you being out of debt, because if you follow the steps, then it will give you the direction that you need. And I may or may not be answering your question right, Lucy. You may need some more clarity, because I know most people, they think they want to put aside some money into their savings. But if you have that $1,000 emergency fund when you're starting out, whenever something happens, you're going to take it from that $1,000 emergency fund until you're out of debt. So for the most part, things that are going to pop up, that $1,000 can probably cover whatever, you know, may come up until you're out of debt. So then when you're out of debt, you're going to have then the 3 to 6 months emergency fund that you've built, and that'll be able to take care of everything. And no, it does not depend on how many kids you have or how much money you make, because it's based off of your expenses. That is for your family to operate off, you know, for 3 months or for 6 months, whatever you decided. For like us, we decided on 4 months because we didn't want to have to go to the full 6. We knew that we could probably find a job, you know, if we lost our job within a 4-month time span. All right, Paulina actually has 2 questions. Her first question is, how important is it to have a budget in place, and how would one start to put one in place? So that we answered on the training call. Your EverDollar app is a great start for your budget, and it's very important to have it because that's your roadmap for your money and you telling your money where it needs to go. What if your debt is higher than your pay? So you think, how can I save when I'm already in the negative when it begins? You know what? I've been exactly where you are, and you have to look at your overall expenses that you have. So, you know, when you look, and this may not be you, I don't know, but like you look at everything you've done over the last 3 months, and you may be like, wow, I went to Starbucks like 4 times this week. What if I didn't go to Starbucks? So there's a savings. You know, what if I didn't eat out? What if I, you know, cut back on groceries? We are eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, you know, 1 night a week. Like one night a week, whenever we were going through trying to get out of debt, we had beans, cheese, and tortillas. That's like what we ate. And I still eat that today. I know a lot of people are just like, you don't have to eat that. But yeah, we ate that. We had nights where we would have grilled cheese for dinner. But you have to look at your overall and see where you can cut. Trying to think what else that might be able to help you with that. I have lots of things that can help you with that. Retirement. This is also from Paulina. You should wait till you're debt free before you're investing in your retirement, because if the problem is that you're trying to pay off your debt, you don't make enough to, you know, pay, and then you're trying to retirement too, you're doing all these things that you can't focus just on one. And so if you can focus on getting out of the debt, then that will free up your money to where you will be able to have that extra money to put in retirement. And trust me, it's hard to not contribute to retirement. We didn't really start contributing to retirement until we became debt-free the second time around. And I'm 41 years old, and I'm like, ouch, don't have retirement. But that's okay, because it's growing super fast because I have no debt. And then Jessica Villarreal said, where do you start with debt? What first? And how the heck do you do that with a set paycheck? All right, so I think I answered that earlier, but you start with You're gonna start with your smallest. Doesn't matter what the interest rate is. And then how you do it with set paycheck. Basically, what you're gonna do, I'm just gonna use this for example. Let's say that, again, only using this for example purposes. Let's say your paycheck is $500 and you've got $600 worth of, debts that need to be paid off. And always, you got to take care of your four walls first. So you got to make sure you take care of your rent, your mortgage. You got to have utilities, and you got to be able to drive to work. So don't not pay that stuff. Like if you've got to pick, who's getting paid because there's not enough money, and not that I want you to not pay your bills, but I'm just saying if this is you're going to take care of that stuff first, because those are your necessities. So you would, all of those items left first, and then whatever's left over, about $100 over that you got to divide up between, MasterCard and Discover and whoever else that you got, and you divide it up amongst them. And if it's not the minimum payment, so what? Somebody's gonna get left out. But that's what you have to do when there's not enough money, to go around to everybody. All right, so those are all Facebook questions that we had. So if anybody that's on the call has a question, just how do they do that? Are you going to unmute everybody? Are they able to raise their hand?
No, I won't unmute everybody. You guys, there is a mute and an unmute button on the bottom left. So you can go ahead and do that if you do have a question, because if it's loud where you're at, I don't want to unmute you. So if you do have a question, you can go ahead and unmute. I'll let everybody go and then I'll go last. Does anybody have a question? Because I have several.
Okay, I have a question. You were talking about Dave Ramsey. I guess you were going to
Yes.
How do you get into that? 'Cause I've heard of Dave Ramsey, and I've heard a lot of good things about how I've seen a lot of people, like their budgeting, they've gotten out of debt by doing the Dave Ramsey thing.
Yes. I am a coordinator for his program, the Financial Peace. And so if you are interested in wanting to get more information about wanting to attend it, there's my email. I don't know if you can see it on the screen. You can just shoot me an email.
Okay.
And I can give you some information. I don't have a set date for the class yet, because I like to have several people in the class. I've done classes before when there are only just like 4 people, but when there's more people, you can bounce things off of each other, and you have more experiences to share with.
Right.
But it's a great class. I love it, and it's basically all those steps that I shared with you. Each week, you're doing a really, really deep dive into each one of those.
Okay, I will shoot you an email for that.
Okay.
Thanks.
You're most welcome.
Anybody else?
I do.
Okay, so so that was my first question. I have been wanting to do I know this sounds so crazy. Like, I've been wanting to do Financial Peace for over 5 years, and
5 years.
Yes, I've known about it like forever. My cousin's taken it way back when. But I guess the time that I got online and tried to find locations like around us, and they even did it at our church one time, where they do it like every season when they start doing the classes. And it just never, my whole thing was that I didn't want to do it by myself. I wanted Chris to do it with me. And it just never worked with our schedule. So now that you said that, and you said that it's all online, like I want to do that, FYI. So I'll get with you after, but count me in for that. My next thing. So like I said, I've been introduced to Dave Ramsey probably a little bit before I met you. Like, I have like 3 of his books on my bookshelf. One I read halfway through. So that was going to be my next question to you. If there was a book that you would say to start with, before you go into the Financial Peace University. Okay, I have that one. I need to go read it.
But for you, okay, so by the way, this is one of the things I'm giving away. But for those of you that may or may not have this book or whatever, you want to read, like, I don't know if you can see, but there's like stories throughout.
Yeah.
Read the stories first, because that will help motivate you. And then go back and read the rest of the content. So like literally every other page or so, there's a story and a photo, you know, of whoever it is. But a book that I would recommend right now that I feel, and I got to get it off my bookshelf. I feel that is kind of the updated version to that book, and the more maybe millennial. You know, I know that terminology is kind of being thrown out there by everybody. Is Rachel's new book called Love Your Life, Not Theirs.
Okay. Wow.
And it focuses a lot on like what we see all day long, because we've got this thing in our hand. And I was holding up the phone. And what she talks about is how, you know, you'll be looking at your phone and somebody's like posting about their, you know, new car they just got or this or that, but yet they're not sharing with you, oh yeah, they just went in debt $60,000 to buy that car, and their car payment is, you know, $735 a month. All we see is them smiling and them going, oh, look at me, woohoo, my car. And we go, I want a new car. My car's busted. This sucks, you know. But that's what her book is about. And it's almost kind of like being content with you and not comparing yourself. And she shares about how, you know, like when our parents and grandparents were growing up, they would say, you know, don't compare yourself to the Joneses. Mm-hmm. Well, we don't see the Joneses hardly anymore because our kids aren't going outside playing like they used to. They're inside on their electronics, just like we're on our electronics. So it's kind of more in your face now than ever because of all the, you know, applications out there, you know, Instagram and what's that one? Snapchat, which I don't have. But, you know, everybody's always posting stuff. And, you know, it just makes it so much easier for you to say, well, I want that. I want to, you know, I want to go do that they're doing. So, but yeah, I personally have not read this book. Okay. But I've read bits and pieces of it, and I've heard her talk a lot about it. But, yeah. So, I mean, like, says, quit the comparisons, make a plan for your money, and live the life you want. But this one, I feel like Dave will always be the meat and potatoes, and this is like the more updated, newer kind of version. Gotcha. Of, you know, his plan.
Okay, so I'm gonna just kind of throw myself out there, which I don't care because I don't care. So this is kind of where I'm at. So my whole thing is that, like I said, I've known about Dave Ramsey. I've been to his Smart Success, where I bought every book. I've read some of them. I love his teachings. I saw the Every Dollar app there, and I went in, I think I created an account, and I never did it. Oh, now, I will tell you, I am a pen and paper girl, so I do write everything down, but I'm going to plug that stuff. Like, I have this thing, which has been 2 years, and I do this every single month. So I do kind of keep track, right? But this is my thing. So because I've kind of had the mindset to kind of, you know, like I could I have him on Facebook, and I have the app where I listen to some of his stuff sometimes. So like I don't have any credit cards. Like we have no credit cards whatsoever, which is a great thing. Now, I'm gonna be totally honest. Have I had credit before, and some of my credit is bad now? So that's kind of like where I'm in the point that I'm at. It's been years and years and years that I've had a credit card. So I literally, which I am like over the top happy, and this one over here says, you just need to go get a new car because I literally owe $500 left on my car. That's it, my last payment. But I don't want a new car. I'm like, I don't want one. I don't want a car payment. I'm like, that money we could save to put towards something else or pay something else off, which our only next big thing that we would have to pay off would be his vehicle, right? So that's kind of now why I want to get everything in place, because other than that, we only have like our expenses, like for light, water, cable, and this is another thing. 2 months ago, I wanted to totally be done away with cable, but this one was not trying to have it. So we compromised and I downgraded. So we're saving like $140 because UVerse is absolutely insane. But like, we've been trying to cut little things like that. And like, we have the $1,000 in place. And so I kind of have been taking some small steps, but I guess for me, what is my biggest thing is that because of the bad credit, like this house is our house, like, but we did it owner finance, right? So my interest is a lot higher.
Right.
So I'm trying to, I guess, at this point, try to get that in our name so that can go a whole lot down, because that, I mean.
What's your interest rate right now?
Oh, you don't even want to know. 10.
12.5?
10.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Get with me. I'll help you as far as all that goes. Do not wait those sleeping giants that are your collections right now that you haven't paid. Don't do anything to those until we talk. Okay. But yeah, that's what me and Brandon do all day long, is review mortgage loan docs. So yeah, you definitely want to refinance that to get it into your name, because the rates are like, they're still in the 4s. So you can probably, are you on a 30-year right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can probably refinance into like a 15-year note and still be probably less than the payment you're making right now.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah,
we need to talk ASAP, because that's kind of where I'm at. I'm glad that we don't have any credit card and all that, but I'm not going to get into another car payment. And, unless there's something absolutely horrible that happens to my car, but hopefully that doesn't happen anytime soon. But other than that, so I want to know about the financial peace class, like for real.
Okay.
So that's my 2 cents. Anybody else?
Me, I do. Can you hear me?
Hi, me.
Hi, it's Tiffany.
Hi, Tiffany.
I know I'm in the dark. Let me go in the light. Okay, so I have a big thing with credit cards, and they're like drowning me. And I know, like, I've heard stories where if you pay off your credit cards and you close them out, it would like drop your score. Like, is that like true, or should I keep my credit cards and not just like tear them up and do away without them and just let them sit there? Because I'm the type of person where I quit my job like 2 years ago, and I stayed home, and of course we have a brand new baby. Say hi. And so now it's just like I've cut back on a whole lot of things. Like, I was just like going haywire, spending, needing. I want this, I want that. I was a big material girl, and now it's just like, no, I don't need that. No, I can do away without that. And a whole bunch of stuff. I like made a big difference in my life with budgeting myself and know what I want. And as far as like Scentsy wise, I know that back then when I did have the money, like I would just go crazy buying a lot of crap and just like bunch of business stuff. And sometimes like the books, they would just sit there, and I was just like, what am I doing? I'm like putting money, throwing it away, like literally just like, ugh. So now, like, I, you know, watch what I spend. We do eat out a lot. That's our big thing. We do eat out a lot. And, you know, there's some times where I'll get in the kitchen, I'm like, ugh, I don't want to cook, you know. But that's our thing. Like, we eat out a lot. And that's what I want to know is, like, as far as my credit cards, like, should I throw them away, cut them up? What do I do?
Well, the credit cards, you realize that your house is much smaller than the big buildings that the credit card companies have, right? You realize they have nicer furniture than we all have in our homes, right? It's because you're helping to pay for that. And they want you to keep those because they know, oh, she just paid off some of that. Oh, let's send her a letter in the mail that she can have 0 interest for the next 6 months. Like, the second you ever pay a card off, they're going to send you something in the mail or they're going to send you email. Why? Because they want to draw you back in. And they do the same thing when you pay your car off too, Jessica, by the way. You will get a letter, like literally second that you pay that off, they will send you a letter saying, you've been pre-approved for a brand new whatever. So just know that. But in answer to your question, if you want to change your future, have a future for, is it a little boy or little girl? For your new baby,
Sorry, it's a little boy. I was muted.
You've got to stop using those credit cards because they're your crutch. And it will be tough because you'll have to make that adjustment from, you know, putting something on the card instead of paying with cash. And yes, your credit score will eventually go away. Okay. But the only thing that you're going to be getting that you would want to have credit for would be a house, because you can pay cash for a car. You can pay cash for a house too, but most people, you know, they don't save that long to be able to get a house. But you can get a house with a 0 credit score.0.
Wow. Yep. I didn't know that. Like, I mean, we got our house when I was 24. So literally I'll be 34. So we'll be here almost 10 years next year. So that to me, that was a great thing because like most 24-year-olds don't have their own house. Like literally, like I can literally count on my one hand that I know people that have their own house at that age. Oh, crap. But yeah, I didn't know that. Like, and that's my other thing. Like, I want to be able to buy like another house and like lease it out and, you know, just like rent it out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then that way I can fall back later on and pass it down to my boys instead of having them have like a house note. Hey, can you give him because he threw up, please? He threw up. Look at him. Here. Thank you. But yeah, that's what I eventually want to do is, but I just didn't know like if I should just, cause like, I'm going to be honest, I have almost 10 credit cards in my name. And so I've been having these credit cards.
Stack's not in here. Did you see that picture that I posted? We had a stack. It was probably about that thick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was massive. It was actually quite embarrassing, like looking back on it. Like I never cut them up. I just kept them.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we had like everything, every single thing, because that's the norm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all that you think about. It's just like, I'm gonna put on credit. And it's so easy, you know. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It's a pain to go get the freaking cash from the bank, but you will spend less when you have cash. And I actually break that $100 bill or break that like, oh, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, and I see a lot of people on eBay because not eBay. I see a lot of people on Instagram because like I love to be on Instagram, and I see these people who are like, they have like these cash bundles in their envelopes. So they put like 150 for the whole month, and they just literally carry that. And this is like, oh, this is my cash. This is for everything the whole month. If I don't have anything, then I can't buy it. I can't get it. I can't go out to eat. I can't do nothing. So I'm just thinking maybe I should do that. And because I hate, like you said, I hate to break that 100. And I'm like, oh, do I really need to break it?
Yeah.
But that was just my thing.
Great question. Anybody else? Questions?
Okay, you said that you can buy a house with like 0 credit, right?
Correct.
Okay, I own my car, but I also own my house as well. I have no payments, no nothing. What brings me under is at one point I had a lot of credit cards, and then they got to be like where most of my paycheck was going to pay the monthly payment, and I just couldn't do it anymore. So I kind of let them go, and now like my credit score dropped completely. And then I'm to the point of every month I try to say, okay, this is what I'm gonna spend, and my self-control is not that good, and I have the income to spend and stuff, but I'm always still finding myself, well, I figuratively, like if I gave myself a budget, like, okay, when I buy, because I want a bigger home, like I really do. I have a 3-bedroom right now, but it is a small 3-bedroom, and I need a bigger home. I really just need one. So I think to myself, how the heck am I going to be able to make a house payment when I'm so, like buying a home, like that's going to change things up differently. Like self-control, like how did you keep yourself from like, oh, I have this anyway, because I have gotten to the point where like, okay, I have read up where you have to have 3 months income saved up just in case something happens in your savings. I put money in savings, and then little by little I take it out, and I take it out. And I'm like, oh, well, I'll just use this and I'll replace it later. Right. And it never gets replaced, so how do you keep from digging into that?
Very good question. I know this seems, it's an easy answer, but it's a difficult answer. You have to have that self-control. Also too, if you're going to be like that, don't put it where it's easily accessible. Like you want it to get to it. Like for example, you wouldn't have it in mutual funds, because then I got to call my mutual fund person and be like, hey, I need you to liquidate this and go sell this. And then it's going to take a while. Well, I just had a blowout. I need the money like now. But at the same time, you don't want it tied to like your checking account. So then it's the overdraft. And then, oh, hey, I spent an extra $100 at Target today when I went in there. But that's okay, because I got that 3 to 6 month emergency fund, and it'll just cover it. No big deal. So you have to, if you know that about yourself, then maybe you have it set up in an account that you got to actually hop in your car and you got to go drive to get it. So let's say, for example, like credit unions. Those aren't quite as popular as your Chase or your Bank of America or your Wells Fargo or your Capital One that are on every corner, right? Mm-hmm. So you'd set up an account with a credit union that's just a savings account with them. Make sure, you have an ATM card to where you could go and get it, because if it's easily accessible for you, then that's going to cause you to want to have to just go and grab it real quickly. Does that help?
Yes, it does. It's just my thought has always been like, if I have cash, it's like that burns a hole in my pocket. I'm like, I need to spend it right now. That has always been my mindset. But I do hear other stuff. Listening to you guys now, like I am thinking I have to change up my mentality on that instead of just letting it swipe that card.
Yeah, it will be different for you. It takes a while to get adjusted to it, but yeah, when there's nothing left, I mean, that's it. It's all gone. You've used it. And, you know, that's where you have to say, gosh, I need to do better next month. You know, and it'll take you probably like 3 months to kind of hone in on exactly where your numbers need to be. Like, because me and my husband have been doing this budgeting thing for so long. Literally, our budget meeting that we have every month is probably like a minute or less, because we go to the EveryDollar app and like you can just say copy from May and you go boop and it does the June, and then we quickly look at it. Is there anything we need to update? Nope, everything looks good. Or, oh hey, we're gonna go to vacation in June, we need to add some money for, you know, going out to eat or having fun or whatever. Let's update that. Boop boop, all right, done. You know, so it makes it super easy.
Okay, I do have another question. How long did it take y'all to get that $1,000 emergency fund plus your 3 to 6? How long did it take y'all to actually build that up and have that set in y'all's, like, you know, savings?
So the $1,000, it did not take that long for us to do, but what was hard for us was the transitioning into doing just the cash and not using the credit cards, because we had like all of our expenses set up to go on their credit cards, because, oh, we can get freaking flyer miles. And so we had everything, like our utilities, you know, we would do our groceries, we had everything. And so to have to switch, and then on top of that, your paycheck's going in and then you're spending that because you've got your credit card over here where everything's just blindly happening and you're not looking at your money and paying attention to it. So the $1,000 did not take us that long to do, just because we have kind of a bigger shovel, our income for both me and my husband. But the 3 to 6 months took a while because you have to wait till you're out of debt, but it was nice to get that and get it over with. And we just basically still said, all right, we're pinching everything we can. And the way that I did ours is, so a lot of people, you know, if you were to lose your job, you know, you wouldn't still live the lifestyle you live right now. You wouldn't be going getting your nails done, your hair, getting a massage, doing all that stuff. So when you do that 3 to 6 months, do it on bare bones, not on the, what I call the, you know, extra sprinkles stuff. So that'll help you to not have that number quite as high, because you won't have all of those extras in there. It'll just basically be, you know, for food, shelter, you know, living expenses.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
You're welcome. Also, too, in the financial piece, he talks about ways that you can get that $1,000 saved super fast. He talks about, you know, sell everything that you can. You'd be surprised how much stuff you have around your house that you can sell. And nowadays, with all the different groups out there on Facebook, you can post stuff and people will be at your door wanting to get it.
You know, now that you're saying that, like I have my garage. So I did the KonMari method, cleaning out my house.
Oh, yeah, I've read that book.
Every room in my house, like probably maybe about 2 years ago.
And everything's sitting in the garage.
No.
Shut up, Jessica.
He's lying.
Oh.
I literally, the first time around, I have like 40 bags that we took because I knew myself. It would sit in there for probably a good year before I did anything, right? Because I had a job and I was busy and yada, yada, whatever. Right. But I don't have a job right now, right? Like a 9 to 5. So I can, you know, work around my Scentsy time how I want to. And I have like a ton of freaking stuff in there because it's like I've been, you know, I constantly like, we don't need it, get it out of here. We don't need it, get out. So there's like so many things in there. And I was just telling Chris, Because what I try to do is like, whenever I do want to purchase something like new, you know what I mean, that may be a bigger, you know, and I mean anywhere from like $200 to $600, you know, I mean, not just to $600, but I'm saying 600 because there's something that I want. You know, I try to do that. I try to think of ways to come up with that extra money that's not already in my, you know, income or whatnot, to get it instead of just it coming out of what we're making. I guess they could probably go towards something else, but that is what I'm going to do. Like, so I'm sitting here thinking like, I know I could have a garage sale or even put stuff on site that I could probably pay the rest of my last $500 for my parking.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's crazy, but.
Oh my gosh, Jessica, that is so true. You know me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't kill nobody. I cleaned out my garage and I was like, I need to get rid of this stuff because I want to turn my garage into where the area I work in, and I work late nights, so I don't have to wake anybody up. So I cleaned out and I still have stuff. I'm like, do I really need this? So I cleaned it out and I posted on like the Facebook garage sale sites that they have on there. I made almost $250 in like 2 hours. On just Halloween stuff that I was just like, it's just sitting there doing nothing, collecting dust, and it needs to go away. But that's what I do. I post a lot on like the 5 miles and the garage sale sites and all that. So yeah, Jessica, you should do it.
I know I need to.
I got a question.
Yes, please. How much should you spend on shoes?
True story.
Too much. I like to spend money. Like if I have cash, it's the other way around. If I have cash, I spend it. If I don't, I won't spend it.
So your question is, you like to spend money? Is that what that question was?
I stop.
How do you stop? Well, I think you answered your own question. Just don't carry cash around.
Exactly.
I really can't carry cash.
I don't let him carry cash because he's totally opposite. If he has to use his card,
I won't do it.
he won't want to give him the card. But if he has cash, like he could have $200 or $300 on him, and I see him like the next couple days, like, hey, where's that cash? Oh, I don't know. I used it on what? Well, we went to go eat here, we went to go eat there, you know, just so yeah. He's about to get into some financial peace too.
Well, and also too, that's where, you know, knowing what you can spend and not spend on, you know, I know for us girls, you know, we want to go buy clothes, buy shoes, buy whatever. And so having that budget item, for example, for you, some shoes, you know that you're going to buy X amount of pair of shoes every year, then just set aside a little bit each month. And maybe Jessica will hold the cash for you. And she'll put it in a little shoe envelope for you. And then that'll be your little allotment for your shoes.
So no more bright colored shoes.
Well, I didn't say that. But you can probably sell some shoes and make some serious dough.
Oh my gosh. That is exactly what I've been telling you.
I already did.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, for sure.
Anybody else have any questions? I know we still have like 12 people on. No.
So where's Brandon at?
So I hope everybody. Oh,
he's in the living room.
So I hope I love the call. I just want to say thank you so much, Anna, for getting on the call, because I think that I mean, just in life period, right? I know for myself where I was 5 years ago when I first was introduced to Dave Ramsey. I'm nowhere where, you know, mentally and financially where I am now. You know, I was barely, I don't even think I was in my house yet. Well, we're barely going to be here 5 years, right?
4. Oh, yeah,
No, 5. So I wasn't even in my house. What was that? I didn't hear you.
I said you weren't, because I remember when you got your house.
I wasn't, and mentally, you know, I I think maybe back then why I didn't use it for so long is because I was just not, you know, mentally where I had more sense, I guess you can say. But, you know, I think that it's super important, as many have said on the call, you know, no matter at what age you are, to, you know, the thing with the budget is, it's so true. Like someone did say, you know, people always think of negatively, oh, a budget, it's a restraint. I got to like cut back, even though you may find ways that you do cut back. But I think one aha for me today was that it's a huge thing to know where your money's going. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, mine has always been on paper. So I go and I add up like how much income I know we had for the month and then how much expenses we had. But I think it'll be a lot easier using this app to be able to like in real time, you know, get more deep into exactly where my money is going, what I'm allotted for that. And again, another thing really quick I'll share is that, baby, give me those 2 books. I have always been a real big person on trying to teach my kids things that I didn't know at a younger age. And Anna has, you know, in the past 5-6 years that I've known her, I've seen her do some of these things with her kids. And we actually went to the movies the other day, so you'll be proud of me. I bought these 2 books. They were $7 something. They were like on sale.
Oh, that's a good, that teenager one. Risa's read that one. That one's a good one.
So even though, so my son says, or my daughter says, Mom, but I'm not even a teenager yet. I said, you're 11. Guess what? You're just going to be ahead of the game. You know what I mean? Like, your reading level is way past a 13-year-old, so you'll be good. I think that it's super important for us to share those things with our kids because they are watching. And I remember when I went, it's probably been around 2-3 years ago when I went to the Smart Success. I bought the I don't know if it's called Financial Peace or what it is. It's the little junior.
Yep.
Yeah, the junior thing. I bought it for my kids. There was books. I would make them read them, and then we actually still have that little chart on the side of our refrigerator. So you know, it's good to share those things with your kids because even though maybe I didn't do it to like the full extent, but I do know that they got some comprehension behind it because they're always talking about, or maybe because they just see me like, okay, if you want something, we got to go figure out how we're going to get it. You're not just going to say, oh, Mom, I need this. My son, he's so used to Amazon Prime because Mom has it. But I told you know, it was like $5 or $6 here or there. But he wanted this is what started all this. He wants an $80 game. And I said, it comes out in August. And I said, well, guess what? You're not using he's like, Mom, can you just use your credit card to pre-order? He's like, do you think that you can? Like, and I'm like, no, how about we find a way for you to make that money? Because it's not going to come out of my account.
So he betted me.
So he's, you know, I told him we're going to read some books and you're going to write something for every little chapter and tell me what you learned. And he's like, well, my daughter's like all for it. And he was like, well, I have football starting, so I'm not sure if I'm going to have enough time. And I said, oh, well, guess what? You already know how it goes in this household. Education comes before football. So how about I tell your dad you're not going to be in football? He's like, okay, tell me what book you want me to read.
That's funny. That is so funny.
So, yeah. But if nobody else has any questions, if you have anything else, Anna, other than that, just a huge thank you for getting on and, you know, you know for sure, I want to know about the financial piece. And if there's anybody else that's interested in that, email Anna and let her know. I would love to get started on a class like that, like ASAP, because I feel like I'm really, really ready for it.
Yeah, and I want it to be just so you don't think like y'all are gonna be there with like strangers that like you totally don't know, because usually that is what it is you have strangers, but I want to do it just strictly y'all's teams.
Gotcha.
So then you all can relate to Scentsy. You know, we can help each other throughout kind of the same similarities than if, you know, if you're in a class with people. that you don't know. And I was gonna tell you, Jess, even though you still write down your stuff, you can still do that if that's your comfort level, and then just put it into the app. But knowing you're gonna love that app once you get in there and you start doing it. That's great. I got it when it first came out, and I didn't do the upgraded version, which actually imports in your transactions. I said, I kind of want to try it out, see if I like it. And I waited, because the upgraded version costs something. I think it's like $19 a year or something like that. But I waited like probably almost 2 years, I think, before we got the upgraded version.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But it's pretty sweet. I love it.
I think for me it's just the getting started, but it's why I just didn't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but,
that's the hardest thing with anything in life. It's just taking that step to get going, and then having the tools. It's just like you go to the gym, you wouldn't show up and not have tennis shoes on. Show up in flip flops. That wouldn't work out.
True.
All right, guys. Well, if you think of anything else, like, oh crap, I forgot to ask her this, or someone's listening to this as a recorded call and you have a question, feel free to reach out to me. You can find me on Facebook, or you can send me an email. I'm so glad that I got to share with y'all, and I'm looking forward to helping each and every one of you on this journey, because your life is about to change.
Thank you so much. And alrighty, guys, so that will end. I will upload this just as soon as I can and share the recording. But I just want to say again, thank you, Anna, so much. We appreciate it. And yeah, I mean, the thing with getting on these calls, the main thing is to get off and take action. So if you do anything, I would say go use that app, create a small budget, start somewhere, because like I said, I read, which I'm good at, and I knew a lot of the things, but I think the hardest thing is getting started to really, buckle down and know where your money is going. And so I hope that today helped everybody, because it helped me a lot, and it's going to make me go start and do something and take some action. I'm going to tell myself I got to go enter everything in that app.
Right.
But that's it. I hope you guys have a great night, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Bye, guys.